Or Aeon, they get banned almost every game.
Yeah, I did a spreadsheet at one point of one of the previous invitationals, and like 2/3 of all the bans were Aeon, despite being one of 4 factions, because people just don't want to play against Aeon.
Something about a gun SU.
I think Chrono is a very fun thing to play against.
I mean, it's not even that much chrono, it's also just the extra range on the SU is just so brutal.
Yeah, it's the range. Its auroras and flares are kind of obnoxious sometimes, and T2 gunships that Flak loses to in small numbers.
I mean, FTX said yesterday when we were talking, like why does Aeon still have the range upgrade? And I was like, why doesn't they have it indeed? Because it's just just the existence of that extra range on the Aeon SU fucks up so many things.
It makes it just a huge mess.
Because like if you think about it, like it's first of all you have Auroras that outrange anything, so you need to make a gun SU or Mongoose or Hoplites to outrange that. But an Aeon SU outranges everything. Well, it doesn't outrange Hoplites, but it's so close that it's basically not worth to build it against Aeon.
And I think somewhat critically, it outranges other gun ACUs despite being an identical speed.
Yeah. And then, so that doesn't work, and then the Aeon SU still count as Percy's as well, like with range.
What if we buffed range upgrade, but then flat reduced the Aeon ACU speed by like 0.1 or something?
That would not make any difference.
It would be a very silly thing to do.
Yep.
But I kind of want to see how it would play.
It's you make then if you play against Aeon and you have a Siren Laser issue, you very very slowly get closer and closer.
Eventually you catch up. Or maybe make it like a 0.2 slower ACU. But I feel like it would hurt a lot, just generally try to move your ACU around, just it being permanently slower.
It would. Oh no, it's fine. It was like crashed for a second.
We got a very important Snoop versus Selene fight. The Snoop is out microing the Selene.
Epic dodging. Unironically, that's important because you see the Selene is already half HP. It's like the best counter to Selens are Tech 1 Scouts. Because the Selens outrange the labs, but the Scouts outrange the Selens. Even though the Selens do more DPS, like...
It's the tragedy of being like a medium range unit.
It's very funny how it works, but I kind of like it. I like how if you're playing against Selens, it's actually worth to micro your land scouts. I really like that. Not quite decent enough dodging there from Pepsi, but he wasn't gonna win it anyway. There was a tank and a Selene.
Yeah, that's too much. But there is a Mech Marine sneaking by on the left side.
Yep. I mean, it is a nice map for Mech Marines, although 2 of his 3 just walked into a tank, which is very unfortunate. I mean, he shouldn't have stayed there to fight, regardless. And he had the scout, so he should have known about it. So it is a bit of a misplay, but the backup tank that he has now should be able to finish off the job.
Should be.
He is microing nicely. And they're both microing it.
Can't dodge forever.
Should be able to get away though. There's a nice Selene on the right side. The Mech Marine on the left actually will be able to kill at least 1 engineer. The Selene on the right should also be able to kill the engineer. Although there's backup tanks for Yudi, although there aren't any backup tanks for Pepsi. And there's not any coming soon, so the Selene is having free reign. Although it kind of went away. It's kind of hard to micro a Selene because it just kills things so slowly, so you have to be very careful with it to keep max range.
Yeah, and it will just immediately evaporate to an engineer that reclaims it.
Yeah. A bomber out from Yudi. Is getting an expanding engineer from Pepsi, but it does instantly get killed afterwards, so...
Honestly, worth. That's an
Yeah, it's
important
worth.
engineer to kill. And now the Selene over on the right side, looking to grab that expanding engineer.
It only should kill the engineer after it finished the mix, though, which is quite important. Unless Pepsi stops it. It's like sometimes people try to save it, but by saving it, they don't get to finish the mix, which harms them. It's too close. Oh,
I finished the
barely.
mix. Alright, and the Selene can basically never kill the mix because it has too much health.
Yeah, especially UEF mix.
But
There's still one lap of Pepsi in the back.
that's going to be annoying. But also,
It
these
is-
4 or 5 tanks headed to the left side are going to be pretty impactful.
Yeah, that's they're kind of raiding each other pretty badly, which is kind of nice. There's an air engagement. Yudi kind of loses it though. 2 intis over Pepsi's base, but they were damaged already. And this tank raid on the left is it's gonna be pretty important. Like, it's gonna deny those 4 mexes again. He's gonna kill the mexes as well, funnily enough. You just counter raid through middle, and his bomber gets picked off. It's a nice shift G by Yudi there, but it doesn't really work out too well.
Yeah, it looks like SP is just winning every engagement on this map right now. In the middle, in the back, over on UD's left flank.
Pepsi has 22 tanks and some labs. Yudi has 18 tanks, so it's kind of even, but you know, Pepsi's are in a better position. He killed all the mexes on the left side. Yudi is still not sending an extra engineer there to rebuild it. There's still no counter to these. Well, I guess they're almost dead. So, well, one of Yudi's tanks as well. He will kill another max here.
I mean, this is good economic damage.
Insane damage. For a random tank raid, 4 tanks doing this much damage, that's normally never really happens.
And they might be
Yudi
able
is
to juke.
also
Go back.
lower with his ASU expanding to the right side. Pepsi already has a factory up there, so Pepsi can get the plateau faster usually. Mid is kinda empty. Neither of them have bothered to send an engineer until now to grab those mechs. Actually, Pepsi did, but it was raided. I just noticed.
Pepsi's just sort of taken the army that threatened to go into UD's expansion and is just going to fall back with it. He doesn't need to engage. He can just sort of loop around, come back, regroup.
Now he does the counter shift G. two masters of shift G against each other.
The power of shift G.
It's like whenever I see this, I'm like, I wish I was playing and I could make like a few tech bomb bombers to abuse it. Look at the shift G on the right side from Pepsi. Imagine a single Sarah bomber there. It does 2k damage with one bomb.
Or just mix in like 1 artillery and you're fine.
Yeah. Although Pepsi's gonna crush this engagement on the right, because Yudi is going in while he has less units, so...
Yeah, that's not a good thing to be doing. And SP should be able to get some of this reclaim. There's also 1 mech marine in the middle of UD's base right now trying to kill his Hydro.
Yeah.
Good luck, buddy. Good luck. We're all counting on you.
Sadly, a tank is coming.
No. That's not fair.
Listen, he's lowering the HP of the Hydro for a future Hydro snipe.
I mean, 1 mech marine at 7.5 minutes to kill 500 HP on a Hydro? Sure.
He's thinking so far ahead in the future, nobody can comprehend it.
It'll die faster to when the Janus show up.
Pepsi's moving to the right side with his tanks for the reclaiming engineers of Yudi, and Yudi's SU is actually out of position, so this actually will be a pretty big run by. That can kill a lot of mexes from Yudi. He doesn't have a PD in the expansion on the right at all.
Yeah, he left before he built the PD, so this is very dangerous.
And Yudi is down 15 to 20 tanks compared to Pepsi, and it shows, because Pepsi is getting the more favorable engagements. There is tech to land on the way from Yudi, 40% done. Pepsi is just going all out tech one spam by the looks of things. He just queues up more factories.
I mean, can Yudi really afford to get tech to land here? He kind of needs to stabilize at some point.
I mean, the thing is, he's trying to do counterattacks instead of focusing on defending, and that's the big issue. Like he tried to counterattack on the left, but Pepsi's SU is there, of course, so it kind of failed. And in the meantime, Pepsi got a raid on the right. So I mean, some raiding units is fine, but not an entire army. I mean, there's no way at any point you are not allowed to make tech to land at minute 9 on Badlands, right? You can just do that. It's just you have to play a lot more defensively with it.
But the problem is, like, your Seraphim, your tech 2 land is going to be Ultraviolet, and they're going to be slow.
Yeah, but he has a transport out. He's dropping the left side, but for example, if he rushes first Ilshi, he can drop it like on the top, kill all these 8 raiding tanks for free with the Ilshi. But his engagements, you need to pick them better. For now, this Pepsi move, actually that will be good for Yuri. With the reinforcements.
Yeah, SP's actually just not going to engage this giant army. He doesn't need to. He'll pull it back. He'll regroup.
Like, you have to keep in mind that Pepsi is on a timer with this, because he's on 1 tech 2 max and is going lands only, attack 1 lands only, right? He has 22 lands factories. It's all his masses going into this, and if it doesn't work, I mean, he doesn't have a continuation plan. He does have the transport though, which is good.
I mean, he's got a plan, and it's to break down the front door right now.
Yes, and I mean, there's a decent chance of working, because I mean, Yudi is behind on masses, his units out of position, he's behind on units and on air, in fact. He does have a PD up on the left side to counter that raid, so that is kind of safe. On the right side though, he still has no PD. He moved his SU again before he finished it, which makes sense, but he needs engineers to finish it. And now he's also making flex. Doesn't quite realize what he's up against. He has no intel. He has 5 factories scouted, that's the issue. He never scouted that Pepsi is going all in on this aggression. Yuri made 3 tech 2 maxes as well.
Yeah, you're just going to try to get Gun over here, but then immediately realize that if he did that, he would die.
Yeah, it's not a Gun.
So the Ultraviots are starting to get out on the field, so SP needs to be decisive here and take a good engagement. But look where Yudi's ACU is, it's getting cut off. We're shift G'ing along the retreat path. SP's ACU is fully committing to this, everything's going.
Tanks. That's so many tanks. That's 113 tanks and 60 arties. Yudi is fucked.
There's no way out, like, no number of Ultraviots will be able to get here in time.
No, he can buy a lot of time maybe if he gets behind the mountain, but he's not trying to do that.
I mean, even if he goes hide behind the mountain, the army can just follow him.
I mean, he's taking the most efficient fight possible with his tanks at the top, so the tanks at the bottom from Pepsi can't help, but the issue is the first Ilshis from Yudi, he sent one of the first Ilshis to the bottom left to counterattack.
Oh no.
Like that, yeah, I mean, his issues fucked like that. Yep, that's it.
That's a lot of tanks shooting at a man.
That's a lot of tanks.
Well played to SV, Grand wins again.
Classic Badlands game. It's, I'm kinda sad because I don't think it was actually over. I mean, of course, Pepsi was doing a lot of damage, but he was still on Tech 1 only. Yudi was behind on mass, but he did have more Tech 2 nexus, so if he expands, like secures the top and left side again, max income should be the same, mass income. And the thing is, he just tried to counterattack too much when he couldn't. Because he had no intel, he didn't realize what Pepsi was going for. And considering the fact he made 3 tech 2 maxes and an HQ, he had no